Hey guys, Alien here from AI's Tech Reviews, and videos will now be looking a little bit different, and I hope you enjoy. So you may know Google launched the new Pixel 6 and 6 Pro in the second half of October with their new Tensor chip, better build quality than that sandpaper feeling Pixel 5 from last year, and most importantly, new cameras and Android 12, the purest and latest version of Android. This here is the Pixel 6 Pro, the more expensive of the two devices, coming with a base price of £850 if you opt for the 128GB model. That's £250 more than the standard Pixel 6, which quite shockingly will only cost you £600. That has to be one of the cheapest flagships of this year. Before getting into the review, let's take a brief look at what's in the box. The first thing in the box is the phone, followed by the USB-C to C cable, and paperwork plus your SIM ejector. Oh, and the USB-A to USB-C adapter to transfer your data. The power brick is no longer included, so you will either have to buy one separately or use one that you already have lying around. So the new design is much better than the Pixel 5, and the build quality is excellent. You've got Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and rear of the phone, which is stronger than Gorilla Glass 6 when it comes to cracks and shatters, but no extra scratch resistance. The frame of the phone is made of metal and gives the phone a nice hefty feel in the hand. It weighs just over 200 grams and weighs only a few grams more than the standard Pixel 6. The rear camera visor acts as a stabilizer for when the phone is sat on a table, so it doesn't rock about while you're using it. The display is a 1440p 120Hz panel with a size of 6.7 inches, under which is a fingerprint sensor. It's not as fast as the physical sensors of the previous Google Pixels, but it is certainly faster than the sensor of the Mi A3. And it has great speed and can only get better with software updates in the future, I would hope. The quality while watching videos and playing some games, as expected, was excellent, and the colors were incredibly accurate. As for the refresh rate, you can't really tell the difference in games or videos, which is where refresh rate really matters. But you can tell the difference when you're scrolling through Instagram, Twitter, or your app drawer. The speakers of the Pixel 6 Pro are incredible. It's a stereo speaker setup, and the sound is incredibly clear, and there is a little bit of bass. Now let's move on to the biggest selling point of the Pixels, the cameras. The front camera is a bit disappointing. It's an 11.1 megapixel sensor with a max recording quality of 4K at 30 FPS or 60 FPS if you go down to 1080p. It has an f2.2 aperture and doesn't seem too bad in video, but is a bit grainy looking when it comes to photos. Hopefully Google can improve it somewhat through software updates in the future. But for the rear cameras, they are superb. The main sensor is a 50 megapixel camera with up to 4K 60 FPS recording quality. I've got some pictures here, and you can see that the colored bulbs are in perfect focus. The light doesn't begin to blur, and the background blur is incredible. You can see all the details of the fabric as well, like maybe some stains or wrinkles. And if you find that this background blur is too strong, you can always reduce it. As for video, here's a quick clip I recorded. So this clip here is being recorded from the rear camera of the Google Pixel 6 Pro at 4K 30 FPS instead of 60, which would be a bit harder and rougher on the processing in comparison to 60 FPS. The quality is great. There's some light background blur. The audio is amazing. The details it's capturing is good as well, and the lighting is just up here. There's no flickering, and it wouldn't flicker on 60 FPS either. Just lowered it to 30 FPS, make it a bit easier when I come to edit the video. Yeah, but it's all great. The quality, the lighting, the light, very, very light background blur. The audio, you've probably even heard the firework as well in the background. Yeah. All grade A, and you'll get the same quality from the Pixel 6. You just won't have that extra telephoto lens, allowing the better optical zoom there before it goes to the software zoom. Yeah, just make sure to clean your glasses before you step in front of that camera. Now, what about the hardware enabling the phone to be this powerful overall? Well, this is thanks to the new Tensor chip Google's first custom chip, paired with 12 gigabytes of LPDDR5 memory. The chip's performance in terms of benchmarks is around the Snapdragon 870 and is amazing. This chip is what allows machine learning to work the way it does and improve things like the magic eraser and speech-to-text much more in the phone over time. The new Titan M2 security chip and the Tensor chip work well together to ensure you're nice and safe while using your phone and reduce your chances of being hacked and having your information stolen. So loading times are amazing with this new Tensor chip. Everything opens up in a flash and obviously much better than the Snapdragon 765G from last year. I do feel, however, that the purpose of the Tensor chip is more towards machine learning and security rather than actual performance. The battery can easily last you a whole day and maybe even two if you use your battery saver all the time. It's a 5003 mAh battery, which is massive and supports 30 watt fast charging or 23 watts if you're using wireless charging. So you will only achieve these speeds using the Google Power Brick and Pixel Stand, second generation Pixel Stand to be exact. So overall, the Pixel 6 Pro is a great package. You've got a superb display, awesome speakers, impeccable cameras, and generally good battery life. But not every phone is perfect. The fingerprint sensor, for my liking, is a bit slow. It's the Samsung Note 10 had a slightly faster, or significantly faster I should say, fingerprint sensor, which was the same underscreen one, and that's a 2-year-old device. It's also been beaten by the likes of the OnePlus Nord, which also has an underscreen fingerprint sensor, and there's a lack of support for SD cards. You can get a single SIM card and an eSIM, so you do get a bit of dual SIM action, but no SD card support. And that is a bit of a shame since the phone only goes up to 128 for the normal 6 and 256 for the 6 Pro. And there will be people buying this phone only for photography, and now you don't get the unlimited Google Cloud storage with the Pixel 6 series. So apart from these two issues, I absolutely love the phone. Probably my favorite phone of the year, and I'd highly recommend you buying it. So if you enjoyed, consider subscribing and leaving me a follow on my Instagram, which is linked in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.